Come back with technology at their fingertips. Canada's younger generation are living in the digital world, but are they thriving from it? Online properties like Facebook are tailoring their services to offer kids kid-friendly platforms, but what's supposed to be deemed safe can actually be detrimental to their mental health. To talk more about this, I'm joined by youth and family therapist Tanya De Silva. She is in Toronto. Tanya, great to have you back on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about, and I think this is really right across the board as well, the dangers of social media platforms like Facebook, like Instagram. What have you seen?
We're definitely seeing a lot of people are talking about this new version that is coming out. So I think Instagram's trying to target the youth, so that 8 to 13-year-old age range. But we're seeing parents have a lot of backlash about this already. A lot of experts are also saying it's not that great of an idea. Even with the parental controls and making it kid-friendly, I gotta say, I just don't think that it's needed for this age range yet.
Yeah, they're still very, very young. They're still trying to figure out who they are. So in terms of and we've talked about this level of judgment, you know, when you're posting pictures, you're putting something, quote, out there. What does that do to a child's mental health? Because they're looking for the thumbs up as many as possible. And what if they get the thumbs down or they get comments there that can be extremely critical?
We're seeing that a lot, and that's the thing. Like, even though this is something new that they're talking about, a lot of these kids have already been on these social platforms. So it's already coming up in our sessions, and we're seeing an increase in anxiety and depression about it. You know, worrying about the likes. We're seeing their self-esteem be impacted because of the comparisons. We're seeing a lot of body image stuff and just skewed concepts of self. Another big thing that's coming up is we're noticing an increase in impulse and emotional regulation control issues around screens. That's getting a lot harder. And I think, to me, the scariest part is the exposure. There's so many of these young kids that have already been exposed to predators. You know, they're exposed to content and information that isn't age appropriate, and that's causing them a lot more stress and a lot more anxiety because they're just not mentally mature enough to handle these social platforms.
Yeah, so let's talk about the kids then. What do we need to let our kids know? How do we educate our kids? Because, I mean, as parents, you're going to say, well, no, I'm going to take your device away, or no, you're not going to get a phone, you're too young, or I don't want you on this app or that app. But let's start with the kids in terms of educating them and making them aware. What would you say?
Well, there's a model that we use, and it's funny because the first thing that we always start with is actually with the parents, because a lot of parents have been pressured because other parents are doing it or their kids are missing out to actually allow their kids to go on. So usually we go in and we kind of rework that, where most of the time parents don't even want their kids on, but they just feel like, you know, this is where we are now. So we go back into creating firm, clear, and consistent boundaries within our family unit. And we always go into the why with kids, because like you said, a lot of the time kids are like, well, why is it no? Or everybody else is on it. So we actually like to spend time explaining to them the why. These are the impacts. This is how it shows up. This is what you might be exposed to. And then we go into a growth cycle with them. So we're like, right now you can't be on and you can't be exposed to this, but soon you'll have, you know, A, B, and C as options. And then eventually you'll have full autonomy. So them being able to see that there's a light, in a sense, at the end of the tunnel, well, you will get there. We're just not there yet. I find that really helps. And we've just really been reworking that it's not a right, it's a privilege. And I think we've lost that along the way, especially with COVID, where, you know, we need to see A, B, and C. So first we need to see outdoor time, connection, actual face-to-face play dates, and then you'll get some time online.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think I'm going to hold on to some of those tips, as I've got my middle one has been asking for a phone, and I'm saying it right here. She doesn't have one because I know she's not ready for it. So good to have you on the program to talk about a really important topic here. Youth and family therapist Tanya De Silva. Take care. Stay well, Tanya. I'll talk to you again soon.
Take care.